Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking the time to look at this video again. So today we're gonna speak about 6 things. Some of them include things you should avoid and some things you should consider if you want to live an over average life, right? Those are things that I wish that I knew probably 10 years ago. Okay, starting with number 1. When you get paid, whether it be your first salary, most times your first salary, please start saving from the beginning towards investing in yourself. Whether it be a course, whether it be fixing up your apartment, whether it be taking care of the home that you're living in, whether it be to further your education, take care of yourself. Invest in yourself. Invest into your own business or something that will bring back money to you in the future. The reason why I'm saying this is because sometimes we wait until we're 30s and 40s before we can even think about starting our own business or maybe improving the skills that we have or taking a course or enrolling in something that we want to do. And then at that time, maybe we need to get a loan and we don't have enough saved because we were not saving from the time we got paid. And honestly, this does bring regret because sometimes when you're looking at your gross pay at the end of the year, most people are wondering, what did I do with that money? You can't see that money, but it's not about how much money you make actually. It's about how much you save, how much you invest. Sometimes it's better that you invest the money than you even save it, okay? So believe me, this will come, you will not have any regrets from doing this. Number 2, do not get consumed with overbuying. This is something that I did, especially because I had an issue with my skin. I had hyperpigmentation. So everything that came out, I was buying. I didn't like this makeup and I wanted to buy this one, or I saw this to grate some cheese and then I found another one that was better and I just kept buying and buying. When you get over consumed, because marketing today is designed to make you think that you need something. In all honesty, you don't need it. Some things do make your life more convenient, and yes, invest in things that can help you to save time and help you with convenience. Definitely do that. But if you already have a mop and it's working fine for you, there is no need to buy another type of mop to try it out. I'm just saying, take that money, put it in your savings, make sure that you're saving towards an investment, as I said earlier, right? Oh, and I forgot, also ensure that you are not just saving towards investment, but saving towards emergencies as well, because emergencies can happen anytime, okay? And you may just need a help, or maybe a family member or something may need that as well, okay? So number 3, being greedy and not contributing when you can. Now, because some of us may have come out from a poor background or impoverished, we were never contributing to things a lot. Maybe we didn't know the art of giving. We sometimes say that I don't have, we always don't have. But what we fail to understand is that as much as you give, you will receive, and even more if you give it a good heart. God gives you back even more, and he said it in his word that he's giving you pressed down, shaken and overflowing, because the God we serve is a God that gives us more than we actually even need, right? So when you give and you don't have that mindset of greed and lack, you tend to open up yourself to receive. And there's evidence. Look at all the guys on, like for example, Mr. Beast, right? Look at Mr. Beast, for example. Every time he gets money, he just gives. And it just keeps coming back to him. It just keeps coming back. And I started to realize that I'm not saying that I'm perfect, right? But what I'm saying is that I tend to realize that when you stop being selfish and you start looking out for people, looking to see where you can solve a problem, it can be money, it can be time, it can be educating, it can be anything that you can give. It comes back to you and you have more than enough. So these are some things that you need to consider. These are some things that will help your life. Don't be afraid to give. I've noticed, right? For example, when someone makes a small salary, and I've had direct experience with this, maybe they might have a family member or friend that had a death. And when they go into the funeral, for example, they may not even bring anything. But what they fail to understand is just by putting $20 in an envelope and saying, hey, this is for the family, maybe you can do something. That helps. Yeah. Just by going to a wedding and probably buying a nice bottle of wine and putting it in a gift bag, if that's what you can afford, do that. Don't go empty handed. I'm not saying that you have to go out of your way, but give. Don't hold on to this lack and hold on to this scarcity mindset. And God shows us examples in the Bible where people gave their last monies, their last cents, and they were blessed. Okay? Number 4, you're buying fast and junked food. And the excuse is that the healthy options are more expensive. I'm telling you, I had that personal experience. I would buy the cheaper food because it's cheap. And then I would say, I can't afford those expensive things. But what I fail to realize is that later on, those cheap foods, they added up. And not just that, the money that you had to spend by the doctor after, you have to get the medication, you have to pay for the checkup, you have to pay for the consultation, you have to pay for the x-rays, you have to pay for everything. Right now, in order for people to live, they have to pay. I see people are going through chemo, they're going through dialysis, they're going through surgeries, and some of the doctors don't even perform it unless you pay. So, saying that eating healthy will mitigate sickness altogether, but it helps. It really does. So, instead of taking $2.75 and buying a chocolate bar all the time, I'm not saying you can't eat a little bit. You can buy an apple for $2.25. Yeah? Instead of buying a biscuit, those big biscuits with a lot in it, for like $11, you can get a pack of grapes for $9, $10. Yeah? Yeah, you can. I see that a lot of those snacks that we buy, they're actually more expensive than fruits. Yeah. We can get a pear for maybe $4. When they're on sale, you might get it for $3. Yeah. And some of the things that we purchase, like snacks, are more expensive. Or we may need 2 or 3 of the same snack to feel something. You may just need 1 or 2 of the fruits. So the price is actually comparable if you really pay attention, for real. Seriously, it's really comparable, and in the long run, it's better. It's like investing in buying a leather material bag than buying the cheap ones, and then you're going to end up having to buy 3 or 4 of the cheap ones because they're going to deteriorate very quickly. But when you have a leather one, it lasts you for 5-10 years. So in the long run, you're still saving. So take away the mindset of, eliminate the mindset of, we're not going to buy expensive food, healthy expensive food, because that's too much. We're going to just stick to the cheap, fast one because that's cheaper. It's really not cheaper. Your health is very expensive. Number 5, trying to keep up with the Joneses. Yep. That is the killer of joy. Sometimes you see your coworker upgraded their vehicle, or maybe they got a new house or something, and you feel like you want to do it too. No, nothing is wrong with upgrading your vehicle if you can. Nothing is wrong in getting yourself a new home, a mortgage, if you can. Nothing is wrong with it. It's very commendable if you can actually achieve those stuff. That's fine, but you don't have to if you're not there yet. No one knows what you're going through. No one knows what you want to achieve. And a lot of these financial decisions that people make are not even wise ones, actually. So you don't have to do anything to keep up with the Joneses, because sometimes the Joneses are home and they're crying and you don't know. A lot of times that happens. They're struggling with their loan, or they're having to work hours that you don't want to work, just so that they can pay what they're paying. Sometimes they have to deal with all kind of family issues, neglect, suicide, all these things, just because they have to keep up what they have. And whatever you have, you're content, or you can be content. You're not being forced to pay a big bill. You're not being forced to do this and that. Maybe you can take a trip. Maybe you can buy some nice clothes. Maybe you can take care of your skin. Maybe you can go get a massage now and then. And you're living a happy life. But you want to live on the hill because Mr. Jones is staying on the hill. And you feel like you have to keep up. Comparison is a thief of joy. When your joy is stolen, you're sad, you're not peaceful. It's not a good way to live. So with living your life, if you want to live over the average people, do not compare yourself with people. Do not compare where you're at. Compare yourself today to what you were yesterday. If you're working on your spiritual life, you may not be perfect. Of course not. It's a journey. It's not a destination. Compare how you behaved 4 years ago to now. Compare where you're at as a person from 3 months ago to now. Compare what your bank account looks like. Compare how you're helping people compared to what you did years ago. That's how you know you're growing. Do you see plants comparing themselves to another plant next to them? No, they sit silently in the ground and then they just blossom. Number 6, be okay to include routine in your life. Number 6, be okay with routines in your life. That was something I hated so much. I did not want any routine. Like, I felt that was so boring. Like, you have to do one thing over and over. And sometimes it can be. Repetition could actually get us very bored and unmotivated. And I understand that. However, routine in your life makes your life easier, convenient, it's more peaceful, it's calm, because you have a sense of control. Now, you don't want to control everything in your life, but you do have to have a sense of control. So do things like automating your bill every month. If you pay a fixed amount with, let's say, Nawasa or GreenLake or Flow or one of these companies, you pay a fixed amount or an average amount, and you want to automate it, your life insurance, automate it. If you run at 6 every morning, what I do, because I work different shifts every day, so what I've started to do, I've started doing my exercises based on the shift that I have to work. So it's routine, but it's not so routine. And then I change up a little bit. So sometimes I would do a jog on the beach. Sometimes I would go inside of the gym. Sometimes I would do at home. So it's a change up. However, it's still routine because I'm doing a certain amount of hours and I'm trying to do it a fixed amount of days in the week, right? If you have to do anything that you can automate, please do that. So just to recap, we're going to invest our monies from the beginning, from our first paycheck. Don't play that, because you're going to wind up at the end of the month, of the year, and you're going to wonder, where did all that money go? We're not going to get consumed with overbuying, because marketing says, oh, you need this. You don't need this. You don't need it. Okay? We're not going to be greedy. We're not going to feel like we don't have, so we're not going to contribute, or we're not going to give things to people. We're going to give. We're going to give. We're going to save for ourselves, but we're also going to give, even if it's 25 cents that you can give. I'm exaggerating a bit, but be open to giving. We're not going to save our money to buy junk food or fast food with the excuse that the healthier options are too expensive. No, because we know that in the long run, it's going to cost us more to buy the junk food because of all the bills that it's going to bring, as opposed to buying the healthier options. Because let me tell you this, I didn't expound on that earlier. When you eat fast food, you're going to have to pay for the gym membership more often. You're going to have to pay for skincare. You're going to have to pay for massages. You're going to have to pay for hair care. All these different things, because eating unhealthy really does, on like over a period of time and consistently, it really does affect the entire body. Then you're going to have to pay for things to fix those things. Yeah? Trying to keep up with the Joneses. Let the Joneses be the Joneses, you be you. Okay? Do what makes you happy. Do what you have set out to do. Follow the goals that you have created. And be okay to include a routine in your life. If it makes your life easier, routine. Set up automatic payments so that it makes your life easier, so that you don't have bills set up and you're not anxious because they're going to cut you off. Do that. Feel free to go to the gym at a certain time. Do your hair in a certain time of the week. Set up those routines. Schedule things ahead so that you stay on track and you don't live with anxiety. I hope this video is helpful. I appreciate you looking, and I hope that we'll see you again soon.